Reflection for Teaching Knowledge of Pedagogy. Of all the library standards, I think that teaching knowledge of pedagogy was the one for which I felt the most comfortable and familiar. As a formal middle school teacher and sub for the last several years, I've been in so many different classrooms across all grade levels and seen so many different opportunities for learning that I feel as if I have become an overall better teacher. The two artifacts in this section of my portfolio are examples of lessons which represent the assimilation of my knowledge gained through experience and enriched by knowledge gained in these classes. The book cover lesson that I created for my 735 Information Retrieval Transfer class was one of my most favorite activities. The lesson had students create a book cover that depicted 3 literary elements, character, plot, setting, theme, etc., from a self-selected book they read. The book cover was to include 3 forms of media, i.e. pictures from magazines or the internet, cutouts from construction paper, drawings, paint, etc. Again, selected by the student, and then they were to write an explanation about each element on their self-constructed book cover that they would present to the class. The book cover meets the criteria of Standard 5 Performance 5.6. The librarian and information teacher uses reading, viewing, and listening activities to foster motivation and learning. By doing this activity, students would have the opportunity to meet the assignment criteria while having a great amount of choice in what they created. Students would also have the opportunity to share books that they had read and enjoyed with their classmates through a visual and verbal overview of the story. This could introduce and perhaps encourage other students to read some of the books presented. I would really love to put this lesson into practice. I think it would be an excellent way to collaborate with a reading or English teacher. I think this lesson could be taught in both the upper elementary grades and middle school. It gives the readers and public speakers and artists all an opportunity to shine, and that definitely fosters motivation for learning. The second artifact I selected is the Knowledge Application Preschool Lesson Part 1 that I did in my 338 EdTech curriculum class. In this lesson, I explained how I would teach the concept of character to preschool-age children by reading the familiar story of the 3 little pigs and then have them acted out in small groups. This lesson would meet the criteria of Standard 5 Knowledge 5.1. The librarian and information teacher knows theories of learning styles, stages of human growth and development, and cultural influences on learning. This lesson gives students the opportunity to verbally interact with the story and each other, as well as using visual cue cards and simple costumes. I believe that most important aspect of teaching preschool-age children is allowing them to use their voices, literally, their bodies, and their need for play. This lesson provides for all of these. I have a hard time creating lessons for young children. Through subbing, I have learned the hard way that in order to be effective, everything needs to be broken into clear, simple, one-step directions. I also learned that sitting and being quiet for long periods of time is literally impossible for the majority of preschoolers. I think that this lesson provides enough opportunity for talking and movement that it would be successful. However, I also wouldn't be surprised if it needed to be modified in order to meet the needs of a specific group of students. Being a good teacher, not just a good school librarian, means understanding objectives across curriculum. I feel that both of these artifacts could be taught in any classroom today and meet not only library media standards, but also those standards found in grade level language arts reading curriculum.